All right, let the whole chat pour on in. Pour on in, pour on in. Na, 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 na. Only 0 people in here. Okay. Let's wait for this crowd to come on in. Oops. Mute that. And we'll get a little of a poll going. If you're in here, say hello. Hop on in. Let's see. We'll go with this is really gross. RLC. Go Lorenzi. And then we'll go Reinders. 11 of you in here. What a disgusting performance. What an awful performance. Honestly. Truly, truly garbage. Hey, listen. I had a parlay going where I needed Pulisic to get a shot on goal. The fact that that was his only shot on goal was the fact that he stole that opportunity from Rafael Leao. Was pretty funny, but Rafa has 2 assists on the day, so great performance from him. I agree with you, Divi. I think he was deserving of man of the match. I will go with Leao in the poll. Go and vote right now if you haven't. Sabrina, how are you? Vlad, how are you? Anthony, JT Physio. Other than 5 to 10 minutes, technical disaster class. I honestly don't think Milan win that game. Probably. You're probably right, JT. You're probably right. It's really, really hard to argue. So hard to enjoy watching us play. Franco, I agree with you. Really rough on multiple levels. Listen, you score 4 goals, but you're up a man the entire time. 2 of them are on set pieces that are probably not going to be replicated. One of the goals that you concede is losing a man inside the box while you're up a bit. Like just really horrid. I don't blame Magnan on either goal. I think some people want to point that in his direction. I'm not really sure what you want. Like the velocity of the shot of the second goal was very difficult to stop. It's either hit right at him or the timing has to be perfect from him. I would also say the volleyed goal was just incredible. You just have to give credit to Slavia, but they weren't scared of Milan. There's just absolutely no denying it. We'll ultimately see what happens next week in the return leg, but today was just something that you're not even remotely proud of. I think you take the result because a win's a win. You're up 2 goals heading into a return leg in Europa League, but Samuel Chukwueze doesn't see any minutes. The substitutes were interesting. You didn't necessarily have to sub off Florenzi as early as he did, but he put on Davide Calabria for that, who also picked up a yellow card in his own right. Matteo Gabbia as well. Kier plays all those minutes. It's outside of the result and what Leao did and a couple other players. I have a really hard time being happy with this. I blame Pioli for a good amount of it, and then a lot of these players are just the failure to execute was just garbage. I mean, just we're sitting there up a man. We're seeing 4 or 5 players pushed up higher up the pitch where there's virtually nobody centrally. So we have everyone that is in the final third of the pitch, including multiple midfielders outside of Yassine Adli, both fullbacks push forward. What is that? What is that? How do you expect to win? And the attitude after where you're up 3-1 and to allow them to do so well on the counterattack, eerily reminiscent of what just happened against Lazio over the week last Friday, where you're seeing the amount that they're able to get forward on these counterattacks. Being down. It just that's a reflection of the manager it's a reflection of where the players are mentally, and it's really, really embarrassing. So we'll get to some of these comments here. I see a bunch of them flowing in. Um, Defense was horrible most of the game. Evergreen type of comment, Henry. Nice for you to join us. Familia, how are you? Well, there should be a decently fresh Sunday looking mostly disinterested. Am I wrong, or did we have the same success inverting our fullbacks early? Why did we stop? Was it just too risky? You're asking for Pioli to do certain things. Sorry, I got a excuse me, text message. Sorry, I had to look at it. The fact that he got a hand to the volley was impressive. He saw it very late, Manyan. Totally unmarked. It's just pathetic. It's like Milan trying to play psychological warfare. Yeah, right. It's the mid 2010s. But yeah, in general, the style in which we won was poor for a 10-man side. Absolutely, got to phase Kier out more. All these center backs are back or in training and back and in training. They should see some time to get back in these games so we don't have to see Kier anymore. Like Chow, maybe not want to see, but Pierre Kalulu? Dove Kalulu. Where is he? Where is he? Can't even get minutes in this? I know Pioli's worried he wants to get this fixture done. But again, 90 minutes for Pulisic, who wasn't horrible. I think his instructions were to play too far wide. He didn't do anything wrong today. I can't really rag on him. I think, it's mostly centrally with these midfielders and just the manager and then some of the defenders. But Chukwueze, man, like what does this guy got to do? What does Chukwueze got to do, man? I know he's probably starting Sunday, but what are we doing here? You can't even rely on him at all? Give Pulisic somewhat of a break? Get some fresh legs in there? I'm really tired of this. It's nonsense. This manager is just, he ruins the confidence of so many players. How are you supposed to build off of this? What is there to build off of? And I don't want to hear anything about, well, if you risk firing a manager, yeah, we know that. We know they're not going to sack him mid-season, but this is solely coming from the perspective of how do you not blame Pioli for anything, right? Or how do you not put more onus on? Like, when are we going to have the conversation for certain Pioli fans to say, okay, we need to call the manager out for what we're just seeing here? Because my goodness, we'll start from the top, right? So we'll go there's a red card for Slavia. The Dio foul was just absolutely horrific. Going to Pulisic like that, thank God Pulisic was okay. I know Kush disagreed. He thought it was a yellow card. I thought it was a clear red. I don't really see how the argument could be made otherwise. There was no ball. I mean, even if the intent isn't there, the intent doesn't matter. The difficulty of that, sorry, not the difficulty, the absolute hit of the foul. Slavia. What did I put? Salvia? Slavia. Yeah, I know I put Slavia in the I didn't even put Slavia in the title either, did I? No, I did. Slavia. I think it was just in that graphic. Thank you. Salvia is totally different. I don't know if anyone knows about that, but we will not talk about it. It was an honest mistake. It's in the title of the video, guys. Slavia Prague. I have it. Paqueta was a Giampaolo thing. It wasn't a what do you call it? No, I don't agree with this. Let's see. Yeah, so again, that was a clear red card for me. Then Milan, not soon after, ends up getting that goal on the head of Giroud finish after Rafael Leao had a fantastic cross yet again, one of his 2 assists within this one. And then from there on, set piece dominance. I mean, Alessandro Florenzi on the eve of his 33rd birthday, turns 33 on Monday. The ability to just even send that ball over to Reinders, and the Reinders finish was fantastic. Talk about some dad strength, huh? Was a great finish to see. And then again, not soon after, we see Ruben Loftus-Cheek finish that headed goal. So 2 headed goals for Milan. We see all the goals here on the ticker. Just in general, I have to say, just really great creativity from everybody. Um, when it comes to that side of things. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, Daniel. Why do you think was able to have some tactical success? I mean, it was a fresher strategy, different midfielders. That like the midfield in the Scudetto winning season was clear of this one. The personnel is different. All these midfielders are exactly the same type of players, all box to box for the most part, and then other players that are not the box to box types. Like I would even not say Yassine Adli kind of falls in that, but he's also not a true regista six. So to put these guys sort of out of position and demand different things from them, and they're way too up front, yeah. Now that's not stop this, stop this, stop this, stop this, stop this, stop this nonsense. This is Game Central. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be this guy right now, but you're wrong. You're dead wrong. That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. This manager refuses to play certain players because he is incapable of trying to trust others. I'm sorry. The guy has played a decent amount and has contributed when he's gotten consistent minutes. It doesn't matter about defensive contribution. You guys want defensive contributions, then it should be coming from the players that should be doing that as their job. Calabria, where is that defensive contribution? The guy is so goddamn inconsistent. Or what about the other midfielders that constantly leave the middle of the whole goddamn field wide open? That's on them. I'm not blaming the guy who actually has a right wing position where he's supposed to score and create. That's his job. I'm not judging wingers off of that. If you want to judge wingers off of that, then go and watch Alexis Salamakers. Seriously, because it's mind blowing. There's a reason that they got rid of 2 guys that had better defensive work rate. Pulisic does a great job at defensive work rate, but that's not the reason. The manager doesn't know what he's doing. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with defensive contributions. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get heated towards you, but it's just a nonsensical point. It's just not true. Because also, by the way, the best player on this team doesn't do a great job of defensively contributing. So that doesn't matter. That's actually irrelevant to the whole point. I get what you're saying on a surface level, right? It's better when players do contribute, depending on the guy, right? You don't care if Leao does it or not because he's one of the best creative wingers in the world. Okay, so you don't want that from him. I think it is Ben. You're wrong. I'm sorry that you are wrong. Well, that's it. Well, you're also like contradicting yourself in this comment. By the way, I don't really mean to get so angry with it, but like it's mind blowing. If you've seen this team for years, if you followed them, if you've seen this manager, you know that's not true. The stubbornness comes from that. It comes from all of that. And it's so frustrating because Chukwueze is a capable player. And I've said this so many times that Pulisic does earn the starting spot and it shouldn't be taken from him. Just like Gabia shouldn't lose his starting position when these defenders come back. But the reality is this. Pulisic can't be playing 90 minutes all the time. He can't be constantly ran into the ground when we know this player has an injury history and the way that Milan plays. The fact that you can't get Chukwueze some minutes, and even today is the perfect example. You know you don't have Leao on the weekend, but you want to sit here and say to me that Chukwueze can't feature in any minutes here? Seriously? I mean, Pulisic's going to be heavily relied upon this coming Sunday. Like, you know? Okay, George, I'm Martino. I'm not Matt. And secondly, you're not incorrect about that, but he doesn't trust him for the stupid reasons. And I know you probably made a mistake calling me Matt, but like I'm clearly Martino. Don't look anything like Matt. Yes, it can be. Yes, it can be. It can absolutely be attributed to that. He ruined the player's confidence. So it doesn't matter when the manager comes in because the damage was already done. You want him to revive a player that, one, didn't have any other fellow Brazilians that he could work with and play with. And this was commented on Paqueta multiple times. I'm not going to blame Pioli for that. Pioli didn't coach him for longer. You know who coached him in the most vital of periods? Gattuso. And then Giampaolo. Giampaolo literally made a comment to the general public that got released saying that he should be I can't believe I have to repeat this, but he literally said he should be less Brazilian. If that doesn't ruin a player, then I don't know what to tell you. Everyone knows that was following that situation, blames it on Gianpaolo for ruining the guy. Okay? Like, I'm sorry. That's just absolutely true. He's very much like Robinson Cano as well, by the way, this comment. That's fine. I also have a nice haircut. But yeah, but it's rude that you say that after his long haircut. By the way, great to have you in here, George. I think UConn's gonna repeat, by the way. I know you're a UConn guy. Benjamin, I think the reason for this is because of them just getting back into training, and Chow should not be trusted. I don't agree with Chow starting in this one. I kind of understand with Tomori though as well. It's kind of difficult. P, that's it, the correct. That's the correct Salvia. Diego, how are you? No. I get what you were saying, Game Central. I didn't want to ignore your comment, by the way. There were so many when I was going on that rant. But I'm just saying, like, it's not a good enough reason. That's not a logistical reason whatsoever from Pioli. Because also, like, he plays guys who also don't defensively contribute that well. So it's not just solely that. I think he just I don't want to insult the guy. I have nothing like decent to say about it. I like Stefano Pioli as a man. I think he's a decent guy. He means well, but he shouldn't be the manager of Milan anymore after this season. There's no reason to sack the guy right now. It's not going to fix anything. I mean, yeah, it's well, yeah, of course it's a Pioli thing, but he's making it a Chuk thing now. George, to be fair to Matt, this team has been playing shit defensively for so long. Stinker, you're correct. I don't want to just bring that up. What do you make of these recent rumors? We'll get to some of that. We'll get to some of that later. Just want to finish the rest of this match here, even though I just went on that long rant. The Reinders goal, incredible, guys. By the way, we'll get the man of the match up right in a second. So be sure to vote on that. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you're commenting, that means you do subscribe. And again, we just actually released a podcast prior to the game kicking off. So if you're interested in watching and listening to that, you get some of Matt's perspective on the Lazio match, what his predictions were earlier today for this game, and then our predictions and a look ahead to Empoli this coming weekend. Might be able to get something up on Monday in terms of that. I saw other comment or question. Girakis, I think it was the comment. I don't think that's going to happen. That rumor seems silly, and then it was an unsubstantiated report. I don't even know who the person was that was reporting that. I thought it kind of seems silly. Yeah, so your man in the match. We're gonna end the poll right now. 66% for Rafael Leao, or 65%, excuse me. RLC 11, Florenzi 11, Reinders 11. Girakis is too expensive. Xerxes, who knows about that? We'll see what happens. If you're interested in the breakdowns for what Matt and I think about Benjamin Sesko and Joshua Xerxes, you can go on the YouTube channel and go and check out those two videos and make those opinions for yourself. Correct, Benjamin? His 2 assists were awesome. He's been so good. When Florenzi is healthy and playing well, he's a real huge boost. You're not wrong in a vacuum as a whole, but just today, I wouldn't blame too much on him. I really wouldn't. No, not happy with the scoreline. Only 2 goals, being up a man. Conceding 2 goals is disgusting. Sesko supposedly has a 50 million euro release clause. So we'll see. Okay. I mean, this Rafael Leao run was fantastic. I saw Kush was beefing with some Americans about it. Listen, Pulisic did his job there. I agree. I think George might have made the comment. He had to tap that in. And again, Leao's not going to be angry. He was the one who created the entire goal anyways. Whatever. Like, if Pulisic has to tap it in, so be it. I actually agree with you. I think Jonathan David could be a very sneaky one. I see Milan actually making a move for 2 forwards. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's Jonathan David and another. I do think a 6 is absolutely more important, but Jonathan David, highly likely that we see something like that go down with 1 year left on his contract. So afraid we aren't getting Motta. It might be stuck with Pioli. I don't believe that is going to happen, Antonis. I don't believe so. Mota, I don't know, but I don't think Pioli stays. The second season in a room, our most expensive player in the summer barely plays. Yeah, I mean, I did a whole Chukwueze rant. If you want to go back and look at that, you can. Uh, I think he's nice to have, but I don't think he's ultimately the guy that we want. Pulisic did. If you watch like Pulisic today, Pulisic is the type of player that even if he's not scoring or assisting, he's doing everything else that you ask of a player, and that's enough. I think he's been very good. Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen, Stinker. I think I tweeted out how Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Bayern, Milan, Juve, um, Chelsea, and even Manchester United. There's like 7, 8 job openings this coming summer. Milan is like towards the bottom end of that pecking order. Personally, I think in the next 5, I don't care if people are going to call me crazy. Milan's a better option than Barcelona at this point in time. I think Barca's chaos. I think they're a better option than Chelsea. We're talking strictly sporting projects and potential, and I think competence and the ability and room for growth. I think ahead of also Manchester United. I think those 3 teams. Barca and these other teams are able to like fill the gap because of fiscal reasons, not because they're more competent, if that makes sense, right? I also think Bayern are usually going to get whoever they want, but I also don't think they've been a great project as of late too. So I would be very skeptical of them pulling it off. Pioli's still out by Europa. If he wins Europa, that makes it a lot more difficult. By the way, for a 6, Amrabat is likely to come back to Fiorentina. I don't think they pay the money for him. Yep, I agree. He was really good today. Sempre Milan said that 4. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Those are our guys over there. Subscribe to Sempre Milan. Go check out my YouTube shorts on there on the channel. Again, like up the video, guys, if you haven't already. Was Pulisic worth the money we spent in buying him, or would you replace him? No, I would keep Pulisic. There's no reason to get rid of Pulisic. He's been the best right wing player that they've had since Suso, and I think he's completely better player in totality. Technical ability, clear of Suso, can score on his left and right foot, tactically more versatile, better athlete. So many different reasons. Yes, Stinker, you said this. Weifer, is that how you say it? Weifer, from Fair Nude. Yeah, Pulisic's one of the best players. So one of the best signings this summer. I would say it's hard off the top of my head to remember every single signing, but I would tell you that he is only second to Marcus Thuram in Serie A for summer signings this year. I don't remember a Juve signing that was better. Atalanta and CDK is actually a pretty good signing in comparison. No one from Lazio, no one from Roma. No, well, Lukaku's been pretty good, but not better than Pulisic. Yeah, I mean, if you look up and down, it's really just Marcus Thuram for Inter. That's the only better player. I really believe that. I don't think that's gonna happen. The only way Pulisic leaves is if they go up 60. You think this Milan team can beat Liverpool? No. Or Leverkusen? No. I don't think so. I think we've seen enough now of this defense. Ain't it happening. No. Like even if what you tell me you put their strongest 11, you put Tomori with Gabbia? No way. No way. This midfield is not even like they can't even compete. McAllister is just clear of any Milan midfielder. Szoboszlai is clear. I know I'm missing another midfielder for Liverpool, but I'm pretty sure he's better than anyone we got. I mean, you have to stop Salah, Darwin Nunez, who, even if he doesn't score, creates very well. We saw what Luis Diaz has done to us in the past. Not a chance. And Leverkusen, I would never say never. Karabag had a 2-2 scoreline against them. So yeah. Yeah, actually, Ohaimes is actually very true. Luka Jovic for nothing was very good signing. For nothing. We'll see if he stays with Milan. We're hearing some rumblings, and I've talked to Ali from Sempre Milan. It's a more complicated deal and re-signing than most would believe. Hey, Wave, how are you? They were moving very well, but I would say this. They still don't have that true and experienced number 6 that could hold the team defensively. Frank Kessie left the club 2 seasons ago, and he hasn't been replaced. Um, no, 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 no. So what do we got? Sorry, I was just trying to. Liverpool is leading EP. Obviously, no, we're not beating Liverpool. I think it was just like a normal question. Um, on that. Apparently, Charlie Davies said something. So we're gonna Charlie Davies talking smack about what did he say? Crazy. Yeah, I think Musa was suspended. Adrian Musa's gotten plenty of playing time for like a 21-year-old breaking into Milan. I think he's done fine. I think his first season has been fine. Probably going to be going on Tactical Managers channel later on in the season. I think him and I were talking. He's going to pop on our channel as well. Gotta say, ew! I just saw a picture of freaking shrimp on chocolate chip cookies. Sorry, just getting distracted here. I don't say that. Don't say that. It's a very real possibility. It's just don't say that. You don't want that. Um, no. I'm really trying to find these comments by Charlie Davies. Does anyone know about that? By the way, who's watching Paramount or CBS? Why would Charlie Davies say that? Why? Like, what kind of a stupid comment that is? So supposedly, this is the text I received about this. Yo, John, what's good, brother? So Charlie Davies says he doesn't think Leao and Pulisic like each other, and Leao doesn't pass to him on purpose. That is a really ignorant thing to say, in a ridiculous thing to say. Like, if Charlie just he can't speculate like that. You can't be saying those things. Like, what? That's so unsubstantiated claims. We have to get to the bottom of this shit, because that irritates me. That's just an ignorant comment. That's Let me see. I'm trying to find the right words here. That's I gotta find that. I gotta find that comment. No way. Is it? Charlie's usually been decent in his coverage and talking about. That's just I don't. I'm trying to find these comments. I don't. There's no way. There's no way he said that. Such a stupid fucking thing to say. I gotta find this. This bothers me, guys. Uh, if somebody can find this, then kudos to you. It's got to be on the after show. Where was this set? That really bothers me. I think he said, "Call it what you like." Yeah, I'm gonna call it what I like, and I think it's fucking stupid. Excuse the language. Earmuffs if you have kids around, but that's stupid. So what was the comment? Who said that, George? So Ahmad, what did he say? What was the kind of quote? But so I guess he kind of danced around by saying it. I'm just curious. Why say such a stupid and ignorant thing? Like just you're trying to put this is really getting call it what you like. Oh, okay. Okay. Wave, if you could link the tweet, link it. I'm very curious about this. I gotta get this tweet up. That actually really bothers me. Wave, if you can get that link and drop that in here, then that would be greatly appreciated because that's just like pretty pathetic. That really frustrates me for coming from Charlie. He shouldn't be saying anything even like remotely like along the lines of that. This is do you have this? I'm bothered by it because it's pushing when you're in America, stinker, and was saying that as a joke. Well, I just need the context of it. But there also are fans that are pitting like Leao and Pulisic against each other too, which I don't like. I'm bothered by this because if it's true, it shouldn't be coming from someone who is on television and is supposed to be covering the game. Speculation on relationships is negligible. It's just not something that somebody should be saying. Like, it's either you know it or you don't. It's a fact or it's not. You can't just be giving opinions and speculating when you're on national television about this stuff. And again, I'm not saying it about Charlie Davies. I didn't say he said that. But if that's true, then that's a problem. It's on the CBS Golasso Twitter. Who is Charlie? Charlie used to be a former U.S. men's national team player. Okay. Um, So it's on there. You said it very tongue in cheek, and that's fine. Okay, wait. I can't play it, but I'm gonna put my mic on mute. George, that's not tongue in cheek. He literally just says you could feel like there's a little tension. I that's no, you can't make a comment like that. I'm sorry, George. I think the initial thing that what he said, no, I that's I'm gonna preface by saying maybe I misunderstood what Charlie said, but come on, man. Listen, and you're right, Stinker, with this. You can't be surprised, but here's the situation. So like for me and my perspective as an Italian American like Milan fan, right? I love Christian Pulisic. I want to see him succeed. I also, at the same time, want Milan to succeed. And one of the bigger issues that Milan had throughout the 2010s was the fact that they weren't able to really grow commercially, right? It was one of the worst eras that the club has ever had. They were playing terrible. And it was also a rise during the US where the league became more popular, sorry, the sport became more popular and so on. And a lot grew. And Milan were not at the forefront of it. So when one of the biggest clubs in the world doesn't get the right publicity that they deserve, and they're finally playing better, and it's kind of shedding negativity on a whole of the club, I kind of have a problem with it because I don't think this is something that should be said by a player like this. I kind of get where he was coming from, but the team played a shit game. Pulisic has comments that we're going to get to that he just said he wasn't really happy with it either. I think saying things like this are pretty silly. I don't like this. I don't like this. Um, this is like, see, this is not to be rude towards Americans who have not watched Milan before this season, but I'm sorry, it comes across as so ignorant to say something like that. That's all. That's all. And I just don't think that should be said because that's just not. I don't know. It's not correct. Um, And yeah, Rafa doesn't always celebrate. Like this is just body language FC. This is all this is. These are the types of people, okay, who sit there and I also quote tweeted it. So if anybody wants to find the video, I'm going to drop it right now. So my problem is you can't just be sitting here and kind of like making broader assumptions on things where like when people were saying Rafa tried shooting that first assist to Giroud, Rafa makes that in swinging cross all the time. That's something he does. Rafa doesn't always have the greatest of body languages. That's been a thing. They won a league title with him, like with his body language like that. That's also irrelevant to it. I don't understand when people like don't view something that long, try and suddenly become experts on something when they have barely been around long enough to have that valid opinion on things. I'm not saying people shouldn't have an opinion, but sometimes you need to sit back and kind of like view things for a long period of time before you make comments on it. I just think like if you continually make comments on things where you're a little bit ignorant on certain topics, then you shouldn't be saying that. So yeah, to me, I think it's silly. Yeah, the in-game commentators also said that, but there was also people in my reply saying the same thing. He didn't. Like that's just also the commentators are nonsensical. They're silly. Like they're just this is stupid. This is stupid. I just obnoxious. Obnoxious. It's obnoxious. Just stop it. Just stop it. You're rooting for the same team. This isn't about agendas. I'm tired of agendas being on full display because their favorite player might have gotten a goal when another got the assist and he poached it. Listen, here's what happens. This club right here that we root for and that we have a vested interest in, we root for the results. We root for Milan to win. Kaká has left this club, Pirlo, Shevchenko, all these legendary great players, but one thing remained that the club did, okay? And we constantly support and root for the players that put on the shirt for the most part, and we expect greatness from them. So I don't give a shit who finished or who tapped in what goal. What I ultimately want to see is the result. And the result at the end of the day should be this: wins. That's all. And if people want to argue about other stuff, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. If you want to sit here and try and uh, dissect on what Rafael Leao does, oh, is he too lazy? Is he too this? Is he too that? It's stupid. It's dumb. You don't know what's going on in a person's head. Just because they're slouching like this doesn't mean that they don't give a shit. Just because they're running and they're angry also doesn't mean that they care more than someone else. Everybody is different. Everybody talks about how they like to do things differently, okay? Not one people are the same. LeBron James and Michael Jordan are great players and great leaders, but they lead in different ways and they execute in different ways. Just because Pulisic does things a certain way doesn't mean Rafael Leao has to do things a certain way. They could both be players in their own right that are great. And I think that's all that matters. And I think people who argue and try to create controversy around that don't know what they're talking about, or they're just trying to add fuel to the fire, which is nonsense. And I think that's poor commentary. I think it's very poor commentary, and I find that really like depressing to just have that. It doesn't need to come down to that. What we could do is say, hey, great job by Christian Pulisic poaching that goal because Rafael Leao might have not put it in the back of the net, even though Rafael Leao made a great run just even creating that chance. Great job by Pulisic being able to read that, being a good teammate. Great job by Rafael Leao to create something out of nothing. Okay? To me, that's what should be spoken about, not what Leao does in terms of his posture. I think that's bullshit. I think it's lazy, and I think it's nonsense. And I just find it's irritating over the course of time, like time and time again. Stop it. The guys are playing well offensively. Give them credit. Stop saying this guy or that guy. It's just dumb. It's just not the right thing and not the right way to go about things. Matt and I and many others that give commentary on the club don't try and pin one another against each other, especially players. We're all rooting for the same team to get the same results. It's not about agendas. If you want to root for individualism, go root golf matches, go watch tennis. Like, enough. This is a team sport. And this club has been around since 1899. I don't want to hear about this. Okay? Pulisic and Rafa are incredible, but like, we've seen so many other great players sacrifice the shirt, and we haven't heard any controversy. And I'm not even saying these two have that controversy. The fact that like it even gets to the point that like people have to give that commentary, that's a reflection of them. So yeah, rant over regarding that. I just hate that. I just think it's silly. I think it's silly. I don't like that. I don't like that. That rubs me the wrong way. Charlie should be better about that. Let's get to some of Pulisic's comments here. Touche. This guy smiles in the middle of shooting a ball. Like, what are we doing? He's known for smiling all the time. It's the name of his fucking book. Shall we get the book up? Smile. It literally is smile. Sorry, fellas. This is a new one. Just watched it. It's just who he is. When a tactical manager was just what was the one that you watched, George? Was it the video that I quote tweeted? Just silly, man. Just what a frustrating type of comment, just by someone that shouldn't be saying stuff like that. There is it's really cool. I haven't seen Leao's phone call celebration in a while. Did he stop doing that? Um, I think he stopped doing a lot of things because he was getting too much criticism for not scoring for a few months in Serie A. So yeah, Leao reminded me a bit of Berbatov at United. Just kind of chills until he gets his moment. People see it as lazy. People go about things differently. This guy sprints and runs more than most people think. Like it's silly, silly. Do you think we will see Pulisic on the left wing? Yes, I do believe so. Matt and I discuss everything preview wise for Empoli on a podcast that we have posted now to the channel. So probably going to wrap this one up. It's right around dinner time on the East Coast here in the United States. I know it's very late out there in Europe. Shout out to Stinker, George, Game Central, Hi Mats, Marcus, P. Morton, Divi Patel. We saw Sabrina in here. We saw Wave. We saw Ahmad, Adam. We saw John as well. Kim Barini. Glasgow Greg, who else? Anthony LaFleur, as always, just supporting us. Saw Zion in here a little bit earlier, Fallen Phoenix. We appreciate you as well. We appreciate everybody that comments on the video, listens to us on audio and video platforms as well. Benjamin, we appreciate you. Method Man, and also shout out to Pick a Side Meme, who donated 30 memberships last week. It's crazy. Leao needs to run harder to first base. Michael, no one's gonna get those references. How do you know Chuk is ready? He can't even start for Nigeria. I think he's ready because he's had a career prior to Milan and can play in these matches. No, Pioli doesn't know. If you're a Pioli defender, make like a tree. Have a good night, Stinker. Cheers to everybody else. Probably won't be back and commenting on anything until Monday. We appreciate all of you guys, and other than that, take care.